What's up, y'all? This video is gonna be for my outcasts, right? My black sheep, right? The lone wolves, right? This ain't for nobody else. But at the end of the day, you could possibly learn something. It's been a long time, probably a few months, since I did a long form talking head video. So I figured, why not? So look here, y'all. Y'all probably done seen my basketball videos, long form videos, and my shorts, right? And it talks about adversity. In other words, I like to demonstrate what it is to deal with adversity, to deal with the odds, to push through, no matter what, right? There's times where I was making half court shots, at least attempting. Took me like 50 tries just to make 2 half court shots. Most people would have quit by then. And I purposely make those kind of videos. And also, my youngest son playing against my second oldest son, uh, and how the odds are against my youngest son. But at the end of the day, when you put yourself in a position where you have to sink or swim, and it comes to, I'm not gonna use that word, but when it comes to being canceled or surviving, oh, you're gonna swim. You're gonna make it happen no matter what. And that's how we all should be with our goals and our dreams. Now, I don't know what I'm gonna title this YouTube video, but again, this is for the loners. This is for the wolves. This is for the outcasts. This is for the misunderstood. You know, when I was a kid, I was misunderstood. I was looked at as different. If you look at my previous videos, you would find that I would talk about this. So I've always been different. I never had to try to stand out. I never had to try to do something different in order to be looked at as someone different. I just embodied being different. And as I got older, I learned to embrace it with everything that I got. And I don't know if some of you guys have experienced being different, being misunderstood, maybe sometimes not even making sense to other people. I remember when I was growing up, my own parents didn't understand me. And that hurt me when I was younger, but as I got older, and now that I'm 48, I learned to not even care. Who cares what they think? Even your parents. You do you. You got to do you. As long as you're not hurting someone, as long as you're not breaking the law, as long as you're not being ignorant and stupid and belligerent, do you, right? Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And so, like I said, I use those videos, the basketball videos, to demonstrate that you can do the impossible. You can do the impossible as long as you're willing to work hard and willing to do it again and again and again. You know, I think about that movie Gladiators, you know, Russell Crowe. And he wasn't expected to have or to reach to the point where he had pretty much had all the power, more than the emperor. I believe that was the emperor. The emperor was the one who should have had the power, but Russell Crowe superseded the emperor. So my whole point of making these videos is to get you guys to understand, if you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to deal with being misunderstood, if you're willing to, again, let's say you want to make, and I'm using it as an example, this is why I have basketball videos, because I use it as a vehicle to really get my point across. If you really want to make that jump shot, you got to keep doing it again and again and again. If you want to graduate, or if you want to pass that test, you got to be willing to work your ass off over and over and over again. And practicing is not comfortable. It's actually uncomfortable. It's dirty. It's grimy. It's redundant. It's repetitive. But if you do it enough and you stay consistent long enough, it gets the job done. I was never expected to be where I'm at in life. And I'm not saying I'm at the top of the pinnacle and I'm at the apex in life. No. But I tell you what I have accomplished. And I'm not even talking about things. I'm talking about being a multimillionaire or a billionaire or having this or having that. You know what I do have that's priceless? I have peace. I'm happy. And I learned no matter what is going on in life, if you ain't got happiness, if you ain't got peace, you ain't got nothing. If you ain't got God, you ain't got nothing. See, if you got God, you got peace, you got happiness. The whole world could be falling apart, and you're going to be like that tree that's in the rivers of water. And the storm could be raging, and because your roots are deep in the ground, that tree, your life, you're going to be swaying back and forth, but you're going to weather the storm because that's who you are. So like I said, I make these videos to inspire and try to show you guys, not just tell you, but show you through trial and error, doing something over and over again. You may not even want to play basketball. It's not even about basketball. It's not even about a jump shot or a layup or this or that. It's about what you want to do in life. You might want to be a YouTuber. You might want to be an engineer. You might want to do this. You might want to do that. You might want to be a teacher. You still got to put in work. You still got to be consistent. You still got to sell out. And my point of the whole lone wolf thing, I'm a lone wolf. I'm a loner, y'all. And I've learned that's where my superpower is at. I get more things done being a loner. I'm not saying that everybody should be a loner. That's just who I am. Just like this is who I am. I can't change this. So what do? I embrace it. I embrace it. I love it. I find ways, how can I make this work for me? And like I said, being a loner, I'm finding out more and more things about me, about Michael, about my strengths, and also my weaknesses, and how I can turn my weaknesses into a strength, and how I can take my strength and make it sharper. And life is tough. I know for certain life is tough, man. I've been homeless. I've been in situations where I didn't know where my next meal was going to be. I didn't know how I was going to make it. I was in a business called Quickstar, which was a branch from Amway. This was like when I was in my 20s. And what's funny is I learned a lot from network marketing. Even though I didn't become a millionaire or a billionaire, I didn't really make any money at all. But what I did do is I utilized their process. I utilized their system. And they would have us read all these different motivational books and inspirational books and self-help books. And I didn't know that was going to actually help me later on in life. And I did get something that was much bigger than money, than being a millionaire and a billionaire, and this may sound crazy. I got a chance to know who I am. I got a chance to recognize that I still haven't reached my full potential of who I can become and what I can do and who I can inspire. And I just want to inspire. That's the whole point of like I said, that's the whole point of my basketball videos. To be able to show you guys, yeah, I'm almost 50. I got a little stomach there, and that's an excuse. That's an excuse. At the end of the day, we still can achieve. Right here it is. I got 1.5 hands. How the hell do I dribble? I remember a commenter said, "Oh, you can't dribble." I'm a work in progress. What can I say? But what I have learned is when you put your best foot forward and you continue to do that over and over and over again, results tend to take place and it tends to work out in your favor. So, again, I know life is tough, life is rough. And we as men, we really don't open up and we really don't talk about our problems. And I'm not going to go in depth with my problems, but what I will tell you guys is I as I get older, I learn to lean on God more. The things I can't change, I just give it to God. And I move forward in my life and I keep working and I keep pushing. And that's all you guys can do. And I like to practice stoicism. Things I can't change, I let it go. And the things that I can change, I work on it and I press forward. There's times I do get sad. I'm quite sure, like most of us as humans, right? That's a part of the human condition. Drop a comment in the comment section if you guys have been sad. It's a silly question, but some of us men, we're not. A lot of times we're not. I like to say trained. We're not trained to be open. We're not trained to be like, yeah, I hurt. There's times I shed tears. I've been done wrong. I've had a hard life. You know, if we as older men could start sharing certain things, I'm not saying share all your personal business, but start sharing certain things, especially life lessons, then a lot of young people can take what you've experienced and they may could say, you know what, I saw that didn't work for so and so, and I saw what that did to them. Let me go ahead and go a different direction. Because a lot of males don't have dads. You know, and it's one thing to listen to, women have great stories too, but sometimes we as men, we got to hear from other men. Sometimes it hits home, hits more to the heart when we find out, oh, wow, you went through that too? Okay. And you came out on the other end victorious? You came out unscathed, or you just came out with a scratch? Ah, okay. Oh, you fell in the ditch with that? Yeah, I won't be doing that. I'm good on that. I don't know what to call this video. It's probably a rant or whatnot, but um, I haven't, like I said, I haven't done a talking head video in a long time, and I want you guys, if you guys have time, drop a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you guys are going through. Again, this channel is not just a one-sided channel. If you guys are going through something, or you need a word of encouragement, I'm here. I'm here. You know, drop a comment in the comment section. I'll respond. But anyways, this is Mike, keeping it simple and precise.